finish off this setup, let's do something that some of you guys already asked for, and some of you also provided a link to Matt Estella's CG Wiki, to the Joy of Vex pages, and that's definitely a resource I can highly recommend. And Matt's an awesome guy, so head over there if you need some additional material. However, let's talk this through, and the question was, how would you go about creating kind of a library out of the function that we just created? So instead of having to write all of this function code in each of your Vex wrangle, could we outsource this and just load a file? And that is absolutely doable. What we do for that is we copy everything that belongs to this function, hit Control X to just cut it, and let's just delete this here because we don't have any function definitions anymore. And this node, of course, won't work like this because we're trying to call this subdiff function, which is not defined for the moment. Well, let's not be irritated by that and head over to any editor. Again, I'm old school, so Notepad++, and paste the Vex code here. If you want syntax highlighting, let's get to language, and I think any C dialect like C++ would do it. So we get a bit of syntax highlighting here. Now let's save this. In my case, I'll just save it in the Houdini 16.5 docs folder, and I'll make a new folder here and maybe call it custom_vex. Dive in there and then just name this, I don't know, subdiv, and then end it with a .h. That's the C or C++ header file. Let's save that. Back in Houdini, let's just save this non-working file for now, because what we have to do is we'll have to do some changes in our Houdini environment variables to point Houdini to that new location for the library file that it should load. So let's just save this, close Houdini, and in my documents folder, Houdini 16.5 or the Houdini version that you're using, I want to open up this houdini.env file. And also I want to make sure that I'm in my custom, let's rename this to custom, in my custom Vex folder. I'll just click this bar up here and copy that path. And then I'm getting an error message from Notepad++ because I've changed the name of this path from custom.vex to custom.vex. So I don't want to keep this file anymore and just edit the houdini.env file. And down here, I'll add a path that points Houdini to a directory where it should look up Vex files. And the variable name is called Houdini_Vex_path in all caps. And let's set that to be equal to quotation marks, and then let's paste the copied path in there, finish it off with a semicolon and symbol, and also let's exchange those backward slashes in Windows to forward slashes, as Houdini is used to Unix-like and Linux-like paths. Let's save that and restart Houdini, open up our file that we saved out, and this still isn't working because what we have to do before we actually call this function down here, whoops, let's drag that down, the subdiff function, we'll have to tell Vex to include, to load the library file that we just saved out. And to do that, we're going to use a command called include, #include, and then quotation marks, and then the name of a library, in our case, subdiv.h, like that. And ta-da, we can see now everything is working again, because on the one hand, we pointed Houdini's environment variable to the folder where we saved out the subdiv.h, and then in our source code, we just included it. So basically what's happening behind the scenes, all the contents of this file subdiv.h are getting copied here where the include is happening. So basically, with one line, we are recreating the function definition we created during the past tutorials. And then we can just call this function down here in the same way we previously could. So that is creating your custom libraries. And of course you can add multiple functions into one of those library files, or you could split them apart, whatever you like, and whatever makes sense to you. So that is custom functions in Vex.